Hello. We have a special conversation to have today, so I'm just going to jump right in here. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought disparities in healthcare to the forefront, especially among people of color with or at risk for chronic health conditions, including heart disease and stroke. Here to shed light on those inequities and to explain what we can do to help stop the rise of deaths from cardiovascular disease or CVD are Selena Gorey, Chief Executive Officer of Women Heart, along with heart attack and stroke survivor Shanta Collette. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So, first question for you, Selena. Why are we seeing a rise in the number of deaths from heart disease and stroke, especially among certain groups?
Yeah, so cardiovascular disease or CVD, which does include heart disease and stroke, makes up about 1 in 4 deaths, making it the leading cause of death in the country. In addition, nearly half of all adults suffer from some form of CVD. Now, as you mentioned, certain communities are at a higher risk. For example, Black Americans are 30% more likely to die from CVD than other groups. And Native Americans are more likely to die prematurely from CVD, meaning die before the age of 65. In addition to that, numerous groups struggle to get good health care, which means that their health takes an even greater hit. Besides sort of the risk factors connected to background. And in addition to lifestyle issues like diet and exercise and sleep, other factors, for example, that's in a city center or in a rural area, may also impact your health directly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shanta Collette, this question is for you. So, you have been diagnosed. You are living with cardiovascular disease or CVD.
Yes.
Tell us what led to that diagnosis.
So I never ever thought of myself as someone who would have any type of heart condition. I was young and active. 2012, I was running on a treadmill, started having some heart palpitations and some other symptoms. Went to the doctor and couldn't get a clear diagnosis. Fast forward to 2018, I had my first heart attack. And about 9 months later, I had a stroke while at work, and I was given my diagnosis.
So, what would you want others to learn or know from your experience?
Absolutely, especially my children and women of color, that we need to be very vigilant in our health. We have to, advocate for ourselves and be proactive, and we need to know those risks. And even our family history. For me, I didn't know about my family history till after my diagnosis. I didn't know that my mom had dealt with cardiovascular disease and my father. Also, really finding a doctor that I could trust. I made sure now that all my doctors look like me so they can understand me culturally. And then just making sure that we speak up, and we recognize the signs, and we're not scared to go to the doctor. A lot of times people don't want to go to the doctor because they think, oh, the doctor's not going to tell me anything. They'll send me home, and I say, hey, still go to the doctor. It's better to
Mhm.
go to the doctor and they tell you nothing but than to stay at home and end up in a casket.
Right, right. So, Ms. Gorey, one of the things we always talk about here at Home Black Doctor is helping somebody become their own best health advocate. And the way they do that is by knowing, so what are some of the things that people can do in order to advocate for themselves or a family member? Like in the case of Miss Carter Williams, is that, she didn't know about her family history, which could have contributed if she had known that ahead of time. Maybe she would have been looking for, so we never know. But what can some people do in order to help be a better advocate for themselves?
Yeah, I do really want to reinforce what Shanta Collette said. Making your health a priority. As we come into the holiday season, work and family obligations are going to feel like a big strain, but that's not a reason to put your health to the side. You need to make sure that you're keeping your health sort of really at the top of mind. I want to reiterate the fact that having a good relationship with a doctor will really make the difference. And if you don't have one, find a doctor that you trust. And if you don't get along with the doctor you have, find a different doctor. That is all within your control. So that's really important too. I would also say know your numbers. You know, your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels are really good, strong tools to tell us how healthy our cardiovascular system is. So if you don't know those, you know, there's a really easy and inexpensive way to know those numbers. You can go to the pharmacy, you know, and get those numbers looked at. So making sure you know those numbers, that's really important. And, you know, here at Women Heart, the organization that I lead, we are partnering with Novartis. And what we are asking folks to do is to join a really cool campaign that we're working on them with called the LegacyWeLead.com. And if you go to that website and take the pledge, you'll have access to a ton of information, because what we want to do, Shanta Colette and I, is invite all of you to join this fight to stop this #1 killer of cardiovascular disease in our country.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you're watching this now or you're watching this later, you see us scrolling along the bottom. That's the website. Go to the LegacyWeLead.com. Make sure you register, get that information. Not if it's not just for you, it's for a family member. Share that information with your friends and family, because this information needs to be spread. So make sure you go to the LegacyWeLead.com and register there to get all that access to all that information. Last question I want to ask Shanta Colette. Day one, you're diagnosed with cardiovascular disease. What should someone do?
Hey, it definitely pulled me up by my lapels. And I truly started living life. I tell anyone, don't let it stop you. Don't let it be an obstacle in your life. Look at it as a new start and a new beginning. Cause again, you got a new chance. You know, it could have took me out. It didn't. So start living and making sure you do what you need to do to make your health a priority. So, you know, I listen to my doctors, I listen to myself, I make sure that I stay healthy, and I make sure that I eat right and do all the things that's necessary to stay alive, you know. So, you know, during the times before that, you know, I often slack on, but now I know I can't do that because my health is at risk. And so I definitely want to be here as long as I can for my children and husband.
Great. I love it. I love that. Same question to you, Ms. Corey. Day one, what should someone do when they're first diagnosed with cardiovascular disease?
Well, you know, our belief at Women Heart is that women need women. And the reason that we're here is because the best thing you can do is reach out.
Okay.
We, as an organization, take volunteers who are women, just like Shanta Colette, living with cardiovascular disease, and pair them up with other women who are just starting out in their journeys. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, you know, making that connection to someone who's been in the exact same place as they are now makes a world of difference. As they say, that their doctors saved their heart, but Women Heart saved their life. So it's a pretty ringing endorsement for peer support.
Well, I love to hear that, and I'm so happy that you all were able to take the time out and speak with us today. This is a serious issue, particularly in Black and Brown communities, and so we're glad that you are stepping up and stepping into that, be a leader in this area. So make sure that you go to the LegacyWeLead.com, register, get this information out, share the stories, get that information so we can continue to save lives. Also, eat right. Go see your doctor, do your follow-up, and all the things that your doctor's been telling you for years, but you got to do it more so now. So again, thank you both for joining us, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.